So today, we're going to talk about the 3 estate planning secrets that cost you thousands and how to fix it with one step. Now, you guys, very interactive, right? Very interactive. I ask questions and we actually give away money too. So not only do you guys get to get a trust will and power of attorney for a very inexpensive price, but also we give away money for participation. So my first goal number 1, is to show you the 3 costly estate planning mistakes. My first goal. My second goal is to show you how you can literally protect all your assets and your legacy 30 minutes and how we can stop the chaos of probate. Stop probate because probate is ridiculous. Now, if I don't clearly show you the costly estate planning mistakes, the 3 mistakes, and a simple step to avoid them, then I insist you don't even consider using Reliant Senior Solutions. Do not consider using them, even though Greg was a great guy. But if I deliver my first goal, then I simply ask you consider using Reliant Senior Solutions to stop the chaos of probate and to protect your legacy. So who am I? Who's this guy with this raspy voice in Florida? So Mario Payne, I'm a certified financial planner. I manage over $250 million in assets. Co-founder of Let Be. It's an fully AI-powered ETF on the stock market, symbol LETB. Actually, the first Black-owned fully AI-powered ETF over the stock market. So that was cool back in 2022. And I'm also the co-founder of FloodCon, AI company that moves water underground. I was featured in Forbes magazine in 2023. I speak at multiple conferences. I have thousands of clients worldwide. And I had my first speaking engagement on a yacht last week. So that was pretty cool. And also, I'm a best-selling author. My mama, I made it moments was when I became a best-selling author. So when I hit the Amazon hot new list, I did a circle with a screenshot, sent it to my mom, was like, hey, I didn't get straight A's in high school. Didn't get straight A's in college, but mama, I made it with my best-selling book. So that is me in a nutshell. And my coach, because just like a basketball player, football player, everybody needs a coach. My coach, who coaches me and has allowed my business to grow dramatically over the past 18 years, is Myron Golden, the GOAT. Who here is familiar with Myron Golden? If you guys are familiar with Myron Golden, put a 1 in the chat. If you guys heard of Myron Golden, are familiar with him, put a 1 in the chat. All right, cool. Y'all heard about. Do y'all like him? Do y'all not like him? Be honest, because I know he's over the top sometimes. I know he pushes religion on people. I like it, but some people don't like it. But what are y'all thoughts about Myron Golden? Y'all like him? Don't like him? Is he too much? Too much? Too much? Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's my coach. I like to show receipts. I pay him over $55,000 a year to coach me, and it's just money well spent to help the world with our estate planning platform. All right. So here we go. The 3 mistakes that we do and the estate planning secrets that can cost you because of those mistakes. Secret number 1, most individuals leave their legacy to the courts without even knowing about it. We're leaving money on the table. We're leaving the court system to let us know what to get and how to get. And it's costing us thousands, but we're going to stop that today, you guys. Secret number 2, power of attorney doesn't work after death. And that's when your family needs it the most. And secret number 3, a will alone. Yeah, we all want a will. Give me my will. But a will alone is going to cost you and your family over $20,000 in years of stress. So, what is a will? Y'all let me know. You can unmute yourselves or you can put into the chat, what is a will? What a screen. What is a will? You can either unmute yourself or let us know, or you can put into the chat, what is a will? Nobody knows what a will is. We got some shy people here. That's cool. That's cool. Well, we know what a will is.
Okay, a will is a document that tells your family, your loved ones, what you want to leave to individual people. You specify who you want to leave what to.
Amazing, Miss Tremaine. You are right on the head Yes, 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 yes. A will is a letter that says who gets what, who gets your stuff when you die. But the court still has to read it. They have to approve it and they have to decide when your family gets anything. So a will is great in theory, but in action, a will is horrible. And because of that, we do not want to leave our legacy up to the courts because they go through a thing called probate. Now, what probate is the process where the courts decide who gets what and how. Now, again, we're giving out money. So $25 holler, a $25 scholarship for the person that lets us know how long is probate. Let us know on average what is the length of time in probate court for your family to get the number. I mean, your family to get your money. You can put it into the chat or you can say your answer if you unmute yourself. But for $25, let us know how long does it take to get your money out of probate court.
6 months to a year.
All right, 6 months to a year. Okay, we got 2 years. Okay, anybody else either unmute yourself or put into the chat. We got 1 year. All right, I'm gonna put on the screen.
That's from Deborah. 1 year.
I got you, Deborah. I got you. I'm put up here on my screen. Where your screen at? Keep them coming. Keep the guesses coming.
I would say as long as it takes for all parties to agree.
That's a good one, Zoom user. Is that my Kentucky, my Midwest friend?
That's your Kentucky friend.
As long as it is. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? We got 2 years, 6 months to a year, 1 year. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. And I'm gonna put on the screen. Put it on the screen. 13 months. Probate on average takes 13 months. So we're playing the Price is Right. Who got closer to 13 months? EEB1D with 1 year. Put in either your Cash App or your Zelle or your phone number, and we will make sure after you get your trust, we will give you $25.
Okay, I sure will. That's Deborah from Decatur.
Where it's much greater. Okay.
Is that Debo, Deborah?
Yes, Deborah Neal.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So it takes 13 months. And the reason why probate takes so long is because the courts, they want everybody and anybody to know what you got because a will is a legal document. So if you have a will by itself, everybody knows what you got. People arguing who gets what, how they get it, when they get it, and then whoever you owe, it gives them time to make a claim. So you might have a house that's worth a couple $100,000. You might have some credit cards that's $20,000. How you gonna pay those credit cards? Sell the house? Somebody loan you money? Those bills got to get paid before the money and the house and the cars and the clothes gets passed down to your loved ones. So a will by itself is not enough. And it takes time and money. On average, probate is 3% of your assets. So we got a house that's worth $300,000. From a probate standpoint, it's going to cost at least $9,000 to move the house from us to who we wanted to go to in the will. Plus, attorneys charge $250 an hour, and their standard is 10 hours. That's another $2,500. So having a $300,000 house, you're looking at almost $15,000 just to pass down your money. Ain't that a shame? Man, that's a shame. Can't believe it. But it's a simple shift that keeps your family protected and out of court. The Black Panther Chadwick Boseman. Who here knows the story about Chadwick Boseman? Do you guys kind of know what happened to him and his money? Wakanda forever, by the way. Anybody here knows what happened with Chadwick Boseman and his money?
No.
It's a shame. So what happened? Listen to this, y'all. So he passed away with a will. And so you think if it's a will and he said his wife gets everything because they got 2 kids, the wife should get everything, shouldn't she? Stop the cap. Not the case. Because his parents contested the will. See, if you have a will, another person can contest it. They can say on the deathbed, they said, I get all the money. Or what nobody taking care, they was estranged. And basically the parents in court said that they paid for his time when he was at Howard University. They paid for his acting school. When he was a broke actor trying to survive. They paid for everything, and him and his wife really didn't get along. She was cheating on him. That's what they said. Not saying it's true, not saying it's false. And the judge agreed with that to the point where his family paid 51 taxes and 900 in probate court. That hurts. If y'all seen Stanford the Son, he's like, Elizabeth, it's the big one. It's the big one, Elizabeth. Imagine paying $900,000 in court cost. Then the wife and the mother and father had to pay an additional $300,000 in attorney costs, because court costs and attorney costs are two different things. So his family ended up getting $2.3 million. Still a lot of money, but they started at 3.8. $1.5 million went between taxes, probate court, and attorney fees because one person contested it. So Chadwick Boseman's widow, Simone, and his parents each got $1.15 million. That, my friends, is a travesty. And it's a travesty because of a will. Now, a will is good, but a will is not the end all be all. So, more of the story with the Black Panther, a will is not enough. Does anybody had a situation where their friends or family went through probate and somebody contested the will? Has anybody heard of a story or have friends and families where, a person died and somebody went to court and said they should get the money? It happens a lot more often than you think, believe it or not. And we see it all the time, unfortunately. But it happens. That's why a will is not enough. Secret number 2, power of attorney doesn't work after death. It does not work. Yes, your family. I'm sorry to hear that, iPhone. Did it cost you guys more money? Did it cost the family more money to kind of go through the process because somebody contested it? I'm not getting specifics, but like how much longer? Was it like 1 month? Was it 6 months? Was it a year? How much longer? Yeah, it's just 3.5 years. Jiminy Christmas. I'm not even going to ask the court cost involved with that. The attorneys getting their hands in your pockets. Get your hand out my pocket. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. So the moral of the story, you guys, it's great to have a will. And we want everybody on this Zoom call to have a will. But a will is not enough. And we'll go over what is enough. What's enough? All right. So a power of attorney. Power of attorney is good, but a power of attorney does not work after death. Your loved ones can't access accounts or make decisions without approval. Not enough, right? So what is a power of attorney? A power of attorney lets someone make decisions for you if you get really sick or you can't talk. But it stops working the moment that you die. That means your family ends up in court, stuck waiting while bills pile up and accounts are frozen. Now, my question for you, another $25 holler for the first person to get this right. Because there's different types of power of attorneys. Name me the 3 different power of attorneys. Because people, when they do planning, they do not get all the power of attorneys that they're supposed to. And depending on the situation, they can't make decisions when a person is alive. So for the $25 holler, y'all either put into the chat or name me the 3 types of power of attorneys. And the first person gets it right, you get paid. The 3 types of power of attorney. Either put into the now. Don't be trying to go to ChatGPT now. I know y'all. Y'all try to go to ChatGPT and get it and then post it. I know y'all. The 3 different types of power of attorney.
Okay. Medical,
Okay.
like a living will.
Okay.
I mean, like a living power of attorney, and then just a medical power of attorney. And what is a doable power of
Okay.
attorney?
You gave me like 5 answers though. you got to pick 3.
Well, you said I gave you 5?
Yeah. So we got
Pick 3 out of the 5.
Doable, medical, and like a living will type power of attorney.
okay. All right. Okay. So that's okay. So we got
Like a
doable, medical, and
disability
living will.
person. Somebody got to make the decision on if if they want to like resuscitate or what have you. That's the
Okay.
medical.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So So we got that. So somebody said health, finance, and I don't know what the and is, but and limited, durable, and incapacitated.
We're incapacitated.
Yeah, somebody's like incapacitated.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. So as y'all think, I'm gonna put them on here. And the last one, drum roll, please. Special needs power of attorney for a person who is special in needs. Now, most people don't have a special needs power of attorney because they do a trust. But the three types of trust, medical, financial. Now, also a financial power of attorney is also called a durable power of attorney as well. So if you have a durable power of attorney, that is also your financial power of attorney, and then a special needs power of attorney for a special needs individual. So unfortunately, nobody got it right, but thank you guys for trying. Thank you guys for trying. But those are three parts. Those are the three different powers of attorneys. So it is one legal document that works while you're living and after you're gone. No court confusion, no delays, no confusion at all. And this person, the godfather of soul, James Brown, was sweating out his hair, and he ended up losing $24 million because of not having a power of attorney. Do we know the story about James Brown when he passed away? I know we all heard about it. We heard about the story of James Brown. The godfather. This is a man's world. Well, unfortunately for James Brown, $24 million in court. That was the cost. It took 15 years for the people that he wanted to get the money to get the money. But over those 15 years, guess what happened? He had 3 people that said that they were his child. He had 3 people that said that they got married to him, and it's in different states too. So when one state does something, it stops the whole process in one state. You got to do it. DNA test, paternity test, all types of just stuff. And James Brown's legacy, all the money that he made, a lot of that went to the courts because of not having a power of attorney. And family relationships will never, ever, ever be in the same. The mistress arguing with the first wife arguing with the second wife, just a mess because of not having a power of attorney. That's why it's important. But a one document can basically help solve all that. And then the last secret, a will costs your family $20,000. Years of stress. Because we said earlier, wills go through probate. That means fees, delays, public record, and the court decides when your family gets the money. But here at Reliance Solutions, Reliance Senior Solutions to be exact, we will solve this problem of creating a trust. So you guys ready to go over why a trust is so important? We talked about the secrets. Now we're going to show you guys how inexpensive a trust is and why it's so important to protect your family. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to go over why a trust is so important. We see those ones. Okay. Why is a trust so important? Actually, what is a trust? Because people talk about a trust all the time. What is a trust? A trust is like a treasure chest that holds all your stuff, and it tells someone exactly what to do when you're gone. And another cool thing about a trust is that it does not need a judge. You don't go to court. It keeps all your money, your house, your assets, your cars, your jewelry, your clothes, and your family safe, stress-free, just like you wanted it. When Betty White passed away, nobody knew what she had, who got what, when they got it, because it was in a trust. And the great thing about it as well, you guys, if you have less than $26 million, all that's passed down and nobody pays taxes. When it goes through probate, it's public record, it's ownership, it's taxes involved. You pay court cost, lawyer cost, and taxes. When it goes through a trust, no taxes at all. Another cool thing about a trust, which we'll stop here, is that you get to say who gets what, when they get it, and how. We make sure every single person who does a trust, and I know Gregory would say the same thing, every person that gets a trust, you want to put verbiage in there to make sure that the money gets passed down to your family and your family only. So let's say, for instance, you have a beautiful daughter, like I have a beautiful daughter, and she got a knucklehead husband that you don't like. You want to make sure if you die, everything goes to your daughter, not her knucklehead husband. If you do a will, it passes down to your daughter, and since it got passed down, she puts it into a joint account with her and that knucklehead husband. When they divorce or something happens, he's entitled to get half. Not good. In a trust, you get to say, if something happens, the money can only go down to my daughter, and it can only be in her name. By putting that one sentence in the trust, it makes sure if they ever get divorced or something happens, he can get all of the money. This is why a trust is so important. If you got kids that's going to spend your money, if it's a will, they get it, and it is what it is. I have an example that happened to one of my clients. Very unfortunate. COVID. She died during COVID. She had $820,000. She had one child that was a car enthusiast and one child that had substance abuse issues. She did not have a trust. We recommended her to get a trust. She didn't do it. $410,000 each went to both children. In a year and a half, one of the children bought 3 cars, crashed 2 of them. He has an Escalade left, but we know an Escalade goes down in value. The other child with substance abuse, 2 years later, he OD'd with $40,000 left. He literally self-medicated himself to the tune of $360,000 in 2 years. Died and passed down $40,000 to his daughter, her grandchild. Very unfortunate. If a will was put in place, it would have mattered. If a trust was put in place, she would have dictated, son can't get all this money to buy cars. Only can take out, let's say, $40,000 a year for 10 years. My son with substance abuse issues, he can't get the money. Has to go to somebody else and they give the money as needed. I'm telling you, nobody knows but God the future. Life happens. And a trust. But anybody with a house, you don't got to be a millionaire, billionaire, decamillionaire, balling out of control. Anybody with a house, if you don't have a trust, you are setting your family up for failure. Talking about failure, client of mine, another example, fighting with the stepbrothers. Well, her mom was married to her stepfather. Stepfather had 3 children before they got married to her mom, and she was the only child. Had a house. The mother was the homemaker, which is the most important job in the world. My wife's been a homemaker for 13 years. Very important to put up with me and the children. So she didn't actually work outside the house. He did. He passed away. Of course, they were married. Both their names were on the deed. It went to the wife, which is her mother. Mother passed away 6 months later due to a broken heart after being married for 34 years. Guess who got the property? She did. Father and mother bought a house together, a blended family. 56% of all families are blended. The father died, then the house went to the mother. Mother died, and then she was a sole heir, which means the stepbrothers got nothing from the daddy because the daddy died first. Now, what do you guys think she did? Do you think she sold the house and broke it up even between her 3 stepbrothers? Or do you think she kept the house for herself? While going through that now, that's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that, Zoom user. Sorry to hear that. You guys let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think she kept the house, or put a 2 in the chat if you think she sold it. Or you guys can unmute yourself and let me know. Did she keep the house or did she sell it? Okay, got some 2, sold it, kept it, sold it. All right. What about everybody else? Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It is no right or wrong answer. I always just like to kind of, see what people's opinions are. No right or wrong answer. So we got a couple people that think that she sold it and a couple people that think that she kept it. All right. Wow, we're split. We are split. Anybody else? Did she keep it or did she sell it? And split the proceeds.
Well, I think she kept it, but even if she sold it, she probably didn't split the money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, she was going back and forth. And her husband was like, if the shoe was on the other foot, it's your mama, not they mama. What would they have done? And she was like, you know what? They probably wouldn't give me the house. They don't like me anyways. They ain't like my mama. They always talked about how the first wife was better than my mama. So she kept the house. And when that happened, guess what the three brothers did? They took her to court. 11 months later, $30,000, because it was a $350,000 house. $1,000 later in court cost and attorney cost, the brothers got nothing because legally they was not entitled to it. You know why? Because the house passed down to the mother. It was the mother's house, and her one and only heir was not the stepchildren, but her daughter. So I say that to say anyone with a blended family, like Zoom user sounds like going through her family right now, want to get a trust. Protect it. A couple bucks for a trust to dictate what happens. If they did a trust, could have said either the daughter gets everything, so it wouldn't have been $30,000 of argument. And I know ain't nobody going to each other's family reunion. We know that ain't happening now. Or in the trust, they could have said if something happens to both of us, split the house 4 different ways. Very easy. Save $30,000 and the boys would have got the house. Who knows what the father's wishes were? We don't know. We do know the judge said the sole heir of the mama was a biological daughter. Don't be like her. Be like them.
Did a great job in helping me with the going through each portion. The links that were included, if you didn't understand it, were excellent. If you needed to look at them, she allowed you to do so. And that was very helpful as well. So I would recommend this to anyone who wants to do their trusts, wills, or power attorneys, and get your paperwork in order, because I think that's very important. It really does help your family, and it will help them to not have to go through the agony of looking for insurance papers, trying to figure out what it is that you would want. And I think that in this day and time, with things happening the way that they're happening, anything that will keep the family together, anything that would make it easy for a family when a loved one dies, I think this is something that's very important, that we really, really need to do this for the sake of our family and for the sake of ourselves.
Awesome. One of the people who used our platform, she was actually going through a divorce. And she saw the writing on the wall is going to be nasty. And she was like, if I have a heart attack and die because I'm arguing with this Negro, I want to make sure my stuff gets passed down to my family, not to him. Creating a trust and a will and a power of attorney is the way to go, because we want to be like these people. Whoa. That protect themselves. Be like her.
And it was extremely easy, considering I'm not really good with the computers, but getting that done within the hour has been a blessing for me, and it's been really easy. So I appreciate it.
Another individual, unfortunately, her husband passed away 3 years ago, did not have a will or a trust. They were married, but because of the house being in his name, even though they both paid the mortgage, the house was his name. She was able to stay in the house, but it took 11 months for the house to go from her husband's name to her name, even though she was helping pay the mortgage for 22 years. She said, there's nowhere on God's green earth I'm gonna have my daughters go through this. And one of her daughters has a knucklehead fiance that she don't like. So she wanted to make sure that she put things in place to say, if something happens to me, my daughter gets the money, can only be in your name. You cannot mix it with a husband, fiance, friend. This is why getting the trust and a will and a power of attorney is so important. Another person.
Me talking to you in the way you took the time out to explain it to me and break it down to terms where I would definitely understand. And my feelings was very good. I mean, simple, easy to understand. You answered the questions that I asked on the things that I wasn't quite sure about. So yeah, I think it was very beneficial. I know to me it was. So I would definitely give it. If I had to grade it, I would definitely give it an 8.
I like to show this because this is a person, older in age, right? Technology, not the best, but he still did a testimonial. Before he did that, we was able to help his brother basically on his deathbed. His brother had 6 children, 2 of them estranged. By us creating a trust will and a power of attorney, his house, his 2 cars, and his jewelry got passed down to who he wanted to, not to 2 estranged children that he had not talked to in 34 years. He was so impressed about what happened, he got to trust himself. I'm telling you guys, probate is crazy. And we always say we want to protect our family. This is a way to protect your family, creating a trust, a will, and a power of attorney. So who do you want to be like? The person that doesn't have the stuff in order, or the person who paid a couple dollars to do a trust, a will, and a power of attorney? And this is how it works. So this is how you create your trust, your will, and your power of attorney in seconds. Well, first off, any questions on those 3 situations, or any questions on a trust? Because I know I'm giving y'all sob stories, but I'm giving y'all real life, and life happens. Life be lifing. So before we show you how it works and how easy it is to put your information in so you do your trust, any questions, suggestions, anything for me? Any questions, suggestions, thoughts about a trust? Well, first off, do you guys know? Oh, we have a question. First off, do you guys know the difference? This is big as well. People do. Do you guys know the difference between a quit claim deed and a ladybird deed? Because we get that question a lot when it comes to setting up your stuff. If you want me to explain the difference between a quit claim deed and a ladybird deed, put a 1 in the chat, or you can say explain. But put a 1 in the chat if you want me to kind of go over the difference, because this is big. And a ladybird deed is what we call a poor man's way through probate. So everybody on here has probably heard about a friend or a family that was so smart that they did a ladybird deed so they would not have to go through probate. It was so smart. And yes, it did not go through probate, but it cost the family thousands of dollars when it's all said and done. This is why. Because when you do a ladybird deed, what you're doing, you're transferring ownership of your house from you to the person who gets your house when you pass away. Now that seems smart. That seems very smart because it bypasses probate. If you die and somebody else owns your property, it goes to them. That seems like it's so cool. But the issue is when that happens, the person who you give the house to, they are the owner, which means they bought the property when you bought the property. Let's say you bought a house for $100,000, and let's say you die and it's worth $200,000. And then the person who was owning the house, because you gave it to them, they sold it and it was worth $250,000. Well, when they sell it, they have to pay taxes as if they bought it. So if it was bought at $100,000 and it was sold at $250,000, that is $150,000 in taxes they have to pay. So yes, they didn't go through probate, but they got to pay $150,000 on the sale of that house. Not good. That's why the ladybird deed is the poor man's way through probate. If they would have did a trust and did a quit claim deed, same thing. Now the trust is the owner because I move ownership from my name to the trust. But since the trust is an entity, guess what happens? I bought it at $100,000. I died, it was worth $200,000. They sold it at $250,000. Because it's in a trust and the trust is the beneficiary, I sell the property, I only have to pay taxes on $50,000 when I died and what it was sold for. So the same thing, I gave my money to a person living, my ladybird deed, or I gave the money to my trust and my beneficiary gets it when I die. By doing the same thing, but having it through a trust or the quit claim deed, it saved you in that scenario $25,000. Do we understand now the difference between a ladybird deed and a quit claim deed? Put a 1 in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and say yes if we now know the difference between a ladybird deed and a quit claim deed. I see some ones, right? Ladybird deed is a poor man's way through probate. I implore anybody and everybody thinking about getting a ladybird deed, or has a person thinking about it because they have a family member that's sick or they want to pass down stuff, talk to Gregory. Make sure that we set you up with a trust and a quit claim deed so that you can bypass probate but save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. So that is why we call a ladybird deed the poor man's way through probate. How does it work?
Make sure that when you put information in, it's capitalized and correct, because whatever information we put in is the information that will be on the estate planning documents. For married couple, you need to choose who created the trust. Fill up needed information from spouse up to your children. After adding all information, you are done. This is how you put in your general information.
Awesome. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's pretty easy to put your information in, right? If you think it's pretty easy to put your information into a website, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure, because when we created it 4 years ago, we did it as if a 3rd grader would do it. So we think it's pretty easy, but I just want to make sure. So as you guys put a 1 in the chat, we had a question. Would a will conflict with the trust? Brenda! That is a great question, Brenda. That is an amazing question. Clap it up for Brenda for that great question. Wouldn't a will conflict with the trust? So Brenda, the great thing about a trust includes the last will and testament, yes. But it also includes a pour over will. What a pour over will says, well, first off, a trust always supersedes a will. So you still need a will, a last will and testament. But whatever you say in the trust, it oversees, or it's like better than the will. And when you have a trust, you have a pour over will. The pour over will basically says anything that I forgot to add when I did my trust pours over from my trust to my will, so it does not go through probate. Hence, you do your trust with Gregory and his company today. And this time next year, you get another bank account. And you forgot to update your trust with that bank account. If you were to pass away, since you had a pour over will, that bank account pours into your trust, and that bank account does not go through probate. So yes, you will have a will and a trust, but the will is a pour over will. And since that pour over will is needed to move everything from the from the will to the trust, if you forget about it, that's why you have a will, and that's why it does not conflict with the trust. Ms. Brenda, put a 1 in the chat if that answers your question. Great question, by the way, Ms. Brenda. But put a 1 in the chat if that answers your question. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. So then we know
This information is needed.
that it's easy to fill out, but also, look at here.
After paying, you will go back to the actual trust package, and we can complete the process. Go to Trust and click Start. Make sure to read the information above. You can also watch a video tutorials as you go through the steps. The video walks us through what is a revocable trust. If you're using a paralegal option or doing it yourself, you are able to walk through each bit of information. After naming your trust, the next section is your trustee. There is also a short video on what is a trustee. Make sure that their information is correct. Click Continue, then we go through the successor trustee. Fill out information. As you hit Continue, you will have the successor trustee. You can have a second successor trustee. After adding all the information, then we go to the next beneficiary. Each beneficiary will always have a video for you to walk through the process. As you continue, please note that the total allocation must be 100. Add the beneficiary information as you continue the process. You can add more than one primary beneficiary. Make sure to check all the information is correct, and the total allocation is 100.
See, the great thing about our platform is that you have legal documents created by our state attorneys. So they create the documents for you. And then you just put your information into a system. And with AI, we help you answer your questions. If you have questions, AI does videos and it helps you go through the process. Had another question. Does the trust have to be notarized? Great question, iPhone 704. Does the trust have to be notarized? And where does the trust go after the process is complete? Wow, y'all got some great questions. Great questions. So to answer the first question, yes, the trust has to be notarized. It's like a contract. You can't draft up something and it not be signed. So it has to be signed and it has to be notarized. The great thing about our platform, either you can do an online notary and have it notarized online, or Gregory's team can help you get it notarized. So very, very easy to get it notarized. Or you can go to your bank. All banks notarize documents at no cost. So you can either do an online notary, get with Gregory's team, or just go to your bank and they'll notarize it at no cost. So after it's notarized, where does the trust go? We always recommend you keep a copy of the signed copy and make copies and give it to your beneficiaries. So if something happens, they know and they can start the process by going downtown, giving them the trust because it's the deed, right? It's not filed. You just show them the trust because it's on the deed. And then, of course, they'll pass the money over to your beneficiaries, go into the bank with the trust so they can pass the money down from your name into the beneficiary's name of the trust. So you want to get it notarized, yes. And then after you get the signed copy, make copies, give it to your beneficiary. So if something happens, they can go through the proper steps to move the money over with no probate. iPhone 704, did that answer your question? Put a 1 in the chat if so. So iPhone 704, did that answer your question? Okay, awesome, cool, thanks. Okay, yeah, just want to make sure. So yeah, so as I said, the documents are created by licensed estate attorneys, you guys. This is not like somebody making it up, and they're all state specific. If you live in Georgia, they're Georgia state documents. If you live in Florida, they're Florida state documents. If you live in Kentucky, it's Kentucky state documents. No matter what state, the documents are state specific, created by our licensed estate attorneys. And then the best part about it, have automation.
We also need to make sure everything is spelled correctly, and if not, we can edit our selections. Once you select continue, then the automation takes place. This is why the Relax Estate is so powerful. After the information is inputted and verified, then the documents are created using our proprietary automation software. Your trust documentation is now created. This includes your summary of trust, your revocable trust, the trust certification that certifies the trust, the funding guide, and then, of course, the pour-over will. Click on each PDF to view the information that you inputted and how it was infused into the trust. This is one of the reasons why the Relax Estate is different from other platforms, as the creation of your documents are instant. At the snap of your fingers, you have created a trust.
Wow. Literally, right there on the same site, as soon as you put your information in, you have your trust, your will, your power of attorney, and all the other documents involved, 13 documents altogether, right then and there at your fingertips. You're not waiting weeks to get it like going to an attorney. You're not shifting around thinking if you did it right, like using LegalZoom.com. You're not going through an attorney like prepaid legal, thinking that is one thing when it's another. It's all done right then and there. You can literally either get it notarized online, print it out, have Gregory's team notarize it, or go to your bank, have a notarizer for free. This is why we've done 3,000 trusts this year. This is why generative AI said that we are the Uber, yes, the Uber of estate planning. This is why we have estate planners, estate attorneys use our service. And estate attorneys hate us at the same time because we're taking money away from their pockets. The average trust costs $4,300. You think Gregory is charging y'all $4,300? You think he is going to let you guys spend all that money when you can do it yourself on a system or have his team help you? Of course not. If we don't get anything from today, we know that a trust and a will and a power of attorney is important. So let's secure your legacy today with Reliant Senior Solutions. And my moderator put into the chat, how much is it? How much? So actually, you guys let us know. So we know the average price for a trust is $4,300. How much do you think Gregory's team is allowing you guys to get it for today? Just guess. Just guess. No right or wrong answer. We know the average trust costs $4,300. How much do you think that Gregory's going to allow you guys to receive it? Okay, $1,500. Okay, I like that. iPhone 704. $1,500 is basically a $3,000 scholarship. We don't say discount because discount's cheap. So something that costs $4,300 at $1,500. That's a great guess. That's a great guess, iPhone. Anybody else? Anybody else? If somebody gets it right, I'm going to give you $25. Another $25 holla for a person that gets it right. How much Gregory's team is allowing you guys to buy a trust, a will, and a power of attorney that you can change anytime you want to, It's no additional cost when you make a change. You don't got to deal with pesky attorneys. And we all know how much probate is. But let's get a guess of how much we think Gregory's team is allowing you to obtain a trust and a will and a power of attorney for today. My moderators, if you can put it into the chat and put the links so people can secure their future. All right, Deb, $900. Ooh, that is a deep discount. That is a deep discount. The price is $1,600. So very, very close. Very, very close, iPhone. Very, very close. Original price he usually charges is $2,100. But for today, one night only, even though he already discounts it from $4,300, he's in Atlanta. The average trust in Atlanta is $4,800. You go up the street to a licensed estate attorney, they're going to do a trust, a will, and a power of attorney, $4,800 out the door in Atlanta. He typically charges individuals $2,100. But for today, because you guys stuck through this guy in Jacksonville with this estate planning platform that's been in Forbes magazine, on Cheddar News, on Revolt, before Puffy went crazy, but yes, I was on Revolt as well. They interviewed me. Been on Black Enterprise, Yahoo Finance, this young, handsome brother with gray hairs, he's saying through our platform is only $1,600. Questions for me? Questions about a trust, a deed, estate planning, questions that we have for me, and how easy it to fill out as you guys are asking these questions. Well, I'm going to share my screen. It is so easy to fill out as well. Even a third grader can do it. Literally, we just put in our information. First name, last name, email, phone number. If your primary residence is Louisiana, you can't use the platform because Louisiana goes by Napoleon law. If you have rental property in Louisiana, you're good. And it's customizable. Just like when you go to an attorney and do a trust 2 months later, you can't say, give me my money back. Once you lock it in, you're locked in because it's customized to you. And then you put in your information. The great thing about it, it is so many ways for you to pay. You can use PayPal. You can use PayPal Pay Later where you pay for it and it takes you up to 4 years. So you can do month by month payments. You can pay with Venmo. You can pay with your credit card or debit card. You can do Cash App. You can do Google Pay, or you can do Affirm. Affirm is where you buy now, pay later. So you buy the trust and you have literally 14 months to pay for it. That is $35 a month. You can literally pay in $35 a month for 4 years, do a trust, a will, and a power of attorney. Something where it takes attorneys 4 weeks to prepare and $4,800 in Atlanta to charge you. You get it for $1,600 or $35 a month. Your first name, your email, your phone number, your address, and then we pay. And once you pay, you instantly get access to the website, your username and password, and you can start doing your trust. With AI, all the questions that you have is right there. You click a button, it answers all your questions. You're just putting in your information, your address, your bank accounts, your name, your beneficiary, and everything else that's legal. With our licensed attorneys, they already created it. So you have your trust, your will, and your power of attorney right then there on the spot. That easy. That's easy. What questions do we have for me? Questions about trust, questions about probate, questions about deeds. Any questions do we have for me? Because the worst question is the one not asked. And as we put into the chat, what is a trust again? A trust allows you to avoid probate. That's priceless. Saving your family time, money. It keeps you private. Nobody knows what you got going on. And it provides detailed instructions, who gets your money, how it's inherited. It's a smooth transfer. And yes, we think all the time, I'll do about it later. No one knows but God the future. And the future's now. Questions. Okay. Miss Brenda, how long is the contract? Well, the trust is forever. You mean how long is the trust? The trust is forever. Once you do it one time, you don't ever have to change it again. Now, if you have like another person that you want to add, like another beneficiary, where somebody falls out of favor, then yes, you want to make an update. But the great thing about our platform, you guys, You can make an update anytime you want to. Now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and you don't pay any extra money. $1,600 that you pay is for the rest of your life. 3 years from now, you have a new grandchild. You want to make a change. Make a change. 5 years from now, you buy that rental property that you always wanted to do. Make a change. It doesn't cost any money. 8 years from now, you retire. Now you have a 401k that you rolled over to an IRA. You want to put that down as an asset so that doesn't go through probate. Update your trust on the website. Doesn't cost you anything. So your trust is forever. And you can make changes anytime you want to, and it doesn't cost any extra money going forward. Ms. Brenda, did that answer your question? That's a great question, by the way. Great question. And to that point, another question people have is, how long is the trust for? The trust is for 21 years after your last beneficiary passes away. So let's say you put into your trust that something happens. I want the money to go to my children. And if something happens to them, I want it to go to their grandchildren. Let's say 60 years from now, your grandchildren pass away. After the last grandchild passes away that you mentioned, the trust is good for another 21 years. So when people talk about passing down generational wealth, that is the vehicle you do it through a trust. We say generational wealth, it doesn't have to be millions upon millions of dollars. Passing down a house is generational. Just think of a person that had a house 80 years ago that they bought for $10,000. That house today is probably worth $500,000, $600,000. I'm pretty sure the family's happy it got passed down with the trust. That's generational wealth. What about iPhone 704? Great question. What about putting cryptocurrency in the trust? Yes, strongly recommended. So it's a portion that asks you to list all of your assets. Your bank account, not the number, but your bank account is a checking or savings. Your 401k and who's your 401k provider. Your house and the house address. Your rental property, address. Your chains, bracelets, and watches, and who it goes to. And then any other assets. So iPhone 704, you would put your crypto. And it's very important for you guys if you have your crypto on your own wallet, because you know nobody knows the password. Another reason why trust is so important, because in the trust, since it's a private document, nobody has access to it. You can put your passwords, your crypto passwords in there. So if you pass away, they know the password so that your cryptocurrency is not lost in cyberspace that'll never get back. So yes, iPhone 704, I strongly recommend you put your crypto in the trust so it bypasses probate and people can find that password. Great question. Great question. Did I answer your question? Oh, no, thank you. It did. Okay, awesome. Thank you. No, that's a great question. Great question with crypto. And for a trust, crypto is only going to be more prevalent. 5 years from now, everybody is going to have crypto. Right now, 6% of the U.S. population has crypto. People expect in 5 years, 95% of Americans will have some type of crypto, either in their 401k or in their personal wallet. And everybody has their own password. So if your loved ones don't know that password, your crypto is gone. That's why you have a trust. It's a private document. Nobody sees what your passwords are. It's private until you pass away. We did have a question. Is it a revocable, irrevocable trust? Do you guys know the difference between a revocable trust and irrevocable trust? Or do you guys want me to tell you the difference? Because it is a difference. It's very important. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to talk about the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust. That's okay. And my moderator put in the chat again where people can sign up with Gregory's link. And then when somebody signs up, let me know. Let me know when somebody signs up. And I'm actually give them a reward. The first person that signs up, I'm going to give them actually a reward. We're going to give them a reward. We're going to give them access to our portal. Yeah. That is $1,000. The first person that signs up, that is $1,000 value, our Relax Investor portal. You will get that for the first person that signs up. So the difference between a revocable trust and a irrevocable trust. Well, a irrevocable trust is something that you cannot change. It's irrevocable. Once you do it, it's set in stone. The only way a person can change it is if your beneficiaries who are getting your money all agree for you to change it. Well, the issue is that if your beneficiaries don't want you to make a change, you can't change it. It has happened early this year with Rupert Murdoch, the CEO of Fox. Now, do I like Rupert Murdoch? No. Do I like Fox News? Heck no. Story for another day. But Rupert Murdoch, the CEO of Fox, he has 5 children. 3 are conservative, 2 are liberal, and the 2 liberal children said, once you die, we're giving all the money that you gave me to the Democratic Party. And he said, hail to the no, excuse my French. And he went all the way to the Supreme Court as a billionaire, thinking that he was going to change the law. And the Supreme Court, the Nevada, not the federal, the Nevada Supreme Court said, you know what? Irrevocable. All your beneficiaries don't agree. You can't make a change. You cannot make a change. A revocable trust, you can make a change anytime that you want to. Anytime that you want to, you can make a change and it doesn't cost you anything. So you have a new child, new grandchild, somebody falls out of favor, you can make a change without nobody ever knowing. Just get it notarized again. Now, people say, oh, an irrevocable trust, it's tax-free. It passes down tax-free. Well, guess what? Stop the cap. That is a lie. If you have $13 million or less and you are single, a revocable trust passes down tax-free. If you are married and you have less than $26 million, that revocable trust passes down tax-free. So, my friends, we don't recommend irrevocable trust. We only do revocable trusts because we want you to have the power to change anytime you want to, and you're not going to pay any tax when you pass down to the family. So, put a 1 in the chat if you guys understand now the difference between a revocable trust and the irrevocable trust. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Let's get some understanding. Okay, we understand. Awesome. Now remember, package regular price is $2,100, but we're giving you a $500 scholarship today, and it is not $2,100, it is $1,600. Now, after 24 hours, this price goes away, and you'll get the regular price of $2,100. Also, included in $1,600, you get an hour one-on-one with the paralegal. So as you fill out the information, you have an hour one-on-one with a paralegal that walks it for you, and that basically does it for you because you're on Zoom and they ask questions and they fill it out. That's a $400 value as well. And that's included in the $1,600. The average trust in Atlanta is $4,800. Gregory's group only does it for $2,100, but for the next 24 hours is only $1,600, plus a 1 hour one-on-one with the paralegal that does it for you. And for the first person that signs up, I'm going to give you guys access to our Relax Investor Academy, the academy where I sold the best-selling book. That is a $1,200 value because people sign up. We have about 100 people a month that sign up for our academy, paying $1,200. The same academy that was created by my mentor, Myron Golden. Yes, he helped me create it. The first person that signs up, you get that for free. No, I'm being nice. I know. But we want to protect your family. The reason why I created this platform is because I wanted to bring $100 million of wealth back into the African-American community. So if we have 10,000 people subscribing our platform, 100,000, not 10, 100,000 subscribe to the platform. If you do the math for probate, that would bring $100 million back into the African-American community. We've done 3,000 trusts already. So 3,000 trusts down, 97,000 to go over time. But me creating this platform is literally going to bring $100 million of wealth back into the African-American community. So what's giving up access to a course? That's nothing compared to the impact. What other questions do we have for me? And when you guys sign up, let me know. I'm a moderator. The first person that signs up, let me know so they can have access that $1,200 value of the Relax Investor course at no cost. Any other questions for me? I had a DM. What if I make a change and I forget to notarize? Ooh, that's a good question. So as I said, you can make a change anytime you want to and it does not cost you anything. Very important though. If you make a change and you do not get it notarized by your bank or by an online notary, the change doesn't matter because you didn't sign it. So it's very important once you do this, if you ever make a change, you get that updated change notarized, either online or by your bank or by Greg's group that can help you get notarized. So yes, if you make a change and don't get it notarized, it ain't gonna be pretty. Because if I got it done today and then updated it 5 years ago, my update from 5 years ago doesn't matter because I did not get it notarized. So it's very important to get it notarized if you ever make an update. That's another great question. Another great question. In the DM, anything else for me? So I always ask 3 parting questions, A, B, or C. A, if you think, put an A in the chat, if you think that the trust is too expensive. So for individuals who think that $1,600 is too expensive for doing a trust, will, and a power of attorney, put an A in the chat. We got our first sign up. Hand claps. Hand claps to Brenda. Brenda! The decision that you made today, heaven forbid, I'm not going to say heaven because you're a Christian, you're going to heaven. When you go to heaven, you're going to look down and be so happy that you did what you wanted to do to make sure that your family is protected. You're going to save them so much money with probate, so much money with court costs, so much money with attorney costs, and so much angst, pressure, feelings you can't put a price on. So Brenda, congratulations. Once it comes through, you will get a text and email from us, and you will get access to our Relax Investor Academy, plus access to sign up, and you'll get a Zoom link to set a date and time to talk to our paralegal so we can do the trust for you. Congratulations to Brenda. Feels so good. The next person that signs up, I'm going to give them free access as well. Man, that feels good. That feels good when somebody executes and is there for their family. So A, if a person thinks that it's too much, that's understandable. And yes, $1,600 a month is nothing to sneeze at. It's not like it's $16. It's not like it's $160. But I like to ask this question. What is the cost if you don't sign? We know if you don't sign up, probate's going to cost at least $6,000. We know if you don't sign up, attorney cost is going to be at least $2,500. If you don't sign up, it's going to be arguments, time, resource that you never get back to the tune of at least $10,000 or more. So do we pay one time $1,600 for peace of mind for the rest of our life? Or is it going to be $10,000 plus, not including agony that we will have by not doing it? And the great thing about it, as I said, you can do buy now, pay later. Use Klarna. Klarna or Afterpay, as I showed you guys, Afterpay, Affirm or Klarna, or PayPal later, where you pay up to 4 years and it costs $35 a month. If we go to Starbucks and get 2 coffees, that costs more than $35. I think we all can agree, $35 a month for 4 years is well worth it when it comes to protecting their family. So that's that. What about, do we have any Bs? So the letter B is if it sounds good, but I don't know if it can help my family. If anybody understands what a trust and will is, but they don't think it's going to help their family, put a B in the chat. Put a B in the chat. If we think a trust, a will, and a power of attorney is good, but it's not for their family. I had another DM. Okay. Does this include the deed? That's a great question. So yes, if you want to do a deed as well, a deed is included for another price. You see, most attorneys charge in between $500 to $650 to do a deed on top of the trust. But Gregory's group to do the trust, the will, the power of attorney, the paralegal, and the quick claim deed is only $2,000. So you can just do the trust, will, power of attorney, and paralegal and file the deed yourself, or you could have everybody, our team, do the trust, will, power of attorney, and the deed for $2,000. So yes, if you do the deed, and we recommend everybody, you want to deed your house, because if you do a trust and you don't change the deed, the house still goes through probate. How does the clerk of courts know that you want to move it from your name into the trust? How do they know you have a trust? Because remember, a trust is a private document. If I did not say it earlier, I'm going to say it now. Never file your trust with the clerk of courts. You don't file it with anybody. It is a private document. You don't want people to know what you got. That's why you did a trust. You don't want people to know who gets what. That's why you did a trust. You don't want the creditors, people who you owe money to try to come after you. That's why you do a trust. So why file it with the clerk of courts when it's public record? You don't want to do that. So with your deed, you just update the name of the deed to your house from your name to the name of the trust. And then after that, you have it filed with the clerk of courts. And everybody knows you have a trust. They'll know who it's from, who it's with, but your family has the trust documentation. So when you pass away, they go to the courthouse and all get squared away. So that is why we want to do the deed of our house. Any other questions for me? Again, congratulations to Brenda. Once you pay, you will get a link to sign in, to start the process, a link to sign up time with our paralegal, and a link to our Relax Investor Academy, $1,200 holla that stays in your pocket coaching program done by my mentor, Myron Golden. And you have to pay $55,000 a year like I did to get it. So lucky you for setting up your family. Gregory, you want to pop on? You want to say anything before we hop off of here? If I can talk. Gregory, you want to?
You hear me?
Yes.
Make sure my screen here. All right. Well, I definitely want to thank everybody for coming out on this, what is it, Tuesday night? Make sure my lighting's good. And hopefully everybody got some good information from Mario. Thank you for taking the time out to come and explain everything to everyone. I wanted to make sure that this information was available. I've been working for years. I'm working with seniors and families, and this is one of the biggest things that I was concerned about. So I'm glad that I had a chance to meet you all to be able to educate and provide a tool that's not only affordable, but the education component to make it very clear and straightforward. So, you know, I look forward to this partnership, and hopefully you all take advantage of this because, as he was saying, you know, these things are very expensive. That's why a lot of people do not pay for it and they avoid it. And then, of course, it costs a lot more to not have it. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to get a very quality product, very good price, and have these things in place and be a role model to maybe influence other people. It's kind of like life insurance, but really on a whole nother level, because even your life insurance has to be in something like this, you know, organized and clear communication. So more people would be inspired to do the same thing, and we have less situations like we see. A lot of people don't experience it or realize how difficult it is till they experience it with their family. We're trying to get ahead of it in a lot of ways and encourage other people to do the same thing.
Awesome. Awesome. Could not say it better myself, my brother. Could not say it better myself. All right. So I know we said an hour and a half. We don't want to waste too much of your time. But if you have any questions, now again, we have 24 hours, one night only. So this time tomorrow, when you click the link, you can still pay, but it will not be $1,600. It'll be $2,100. Or if you want us to do a deed as well, it won't be $2,000. It'll be $2,500. So for those on the fence, I would recommend paying, doing it again as I share my screen, just paying it through Klarna or Affirm. It is buy now, pay later. So you can pay $34 a month. And if you want to just pay it in a lump sum and get over with down the road, do it that way. It's just a one-time pay. You can make changes anytime that you want to. It's no cost to do that. It allows you to protect your family because it's going to cost thousands of dollars more by waiting to see if something happens. Even if you get sick and just want to do it in a hurry, right? 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, it's going to be more because of inflation. But you're in a hurry, something happens to you, need a power of attorney, need a will, need to get it done. You think that a state attorney is going to give you a discount because you're in a hurry? You think they're going to charge more because they got to speed it up. It won't be $4,800 in Atlanta, but be a lot more. So take advantage of it. Even if you do buy now, pay later, where you're paying $34 a month for the next 4 years, you need to ask yourself how much it's going to cost you if you don't do it. Anything else for me before I lead us out in prayer? Because if it was not for the Lord, we'd not be here today. So I'd like to lead us out in prayer. Any other questions for me? All right, so we can close our eyes and bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for your love. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for being in our lives. Thank you for allowing us to walk and talk and be healthy. You continue to bless us. We just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to wake up. May you bless everybody on the Zoom. May you bless their friends, bless their family, bless their loved ones, bless their jobs, bless their careers, and just bless their life. May you bless us. May you bless all of our leaders who make decisions. May you bless the sick, the poor, and the healthy. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you for all your love and your blessings you continue to bestow upon us. Amen. I wish I had some church in here. Also, you guys be blessed. Nice to meet you guys. Peace.